Hey everybody, welcome back. These are some wedding feuds that ruin the big day. Fiance's sister-in-law is trying to invite her family to our wedding after I was uninvited from their Christmas. All of these are from the Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. We are at 80,000 members at the time of this recording. I'm so proud. There's so much tea in this subreddit. This is an Am I the A-hole? So all rise for the Honorable Charlotte. New account because friends know my other Reddit handle. My 39 female, fiance 41 male, we call him Frank, are getting married after 13 years together. We're in the middle of planning our wedding for end of 2025 and all has been going well until this last week. Buckle up, friends, because this requires a backstory. We met in Frank's home country and moved to mine as he'd always wanted to go. Things worked out fantastic. We had a great life working and traveling. My family loved him and he loved them. In 2021, thanks to the spicy cough, I ended up having to quit my job and look after my mother as she became sick, then needed round-the-clock care. I was eventually able to put my mother into permanent care, that's a whole other saga, and started working again. But it had put a huge strain on our relationship, and we were working out whether or not to continue or break up. Early 2022, future brother-in-law Ned, male 45, aware of the relationship situation, invited us to have Christmas with him and his wife Karen's, 49 female, family in their, Frank's, home country. Frank was excited and told me to book the tickets and time off work because he thought it'd be a good chance to do something fun together. That no matter what happened with our romantic relationship, he considered me his family, and he wanted to share his family with me after all the years I'd shared my family with him. Everything was organized when just 2 months before we were told by Ned that he and Karen are no longer hosting Christmas. Karen's sister is. It's going to be a destination Christmas. We're not invited because Karen's sister thinks it will be awkward. Okay. Turns out Frank is welcome. I am not because we haven't sorted things out yet. We pretty much had, we just hadn't told them the latest. Frank was furious, not least of which because Ned visited us some years before. Karen rocked up uninvited and at the time was Ned's mistress. I see what's really going on here. We hosted the two of them for a fortnight, but it put Frank in an incredibly awkward position with everyone back home. Ned can't say no to his Karen. Fast forward to the present, and we decided to hold the wedding in Frank's home country. Think converted barn, large garden, orchard, horses and fields behind, dream location, okay? For the wedding and reception. It's the perfect venue and has been used for a number of family and friends events. It also allows us to pay for the few people coming from my country to fly over. The wedding will be small, about 30 of our absolute closest friends and family. Here's where things start to get tricky. Ned and Karen know this is a closest people only event, but as it's their house, they want a few people there too. Ooh, okay. Ned asked if two of his closest friends who used to be Frank's good friends can come. Used to be. Frank was fine with that. However, now Karen has asked if her sister and her brother-in-law can come. She told them about hosting the wedding and, quote, they absolutely love weddings and are great fun. Casually threw in,
it's our house, you know.
And has all but given them an invite. This is the same sister and brother-in-law from whose Christmas we were uninvited. I've never met them, and Frank has only met them a couple of times. We remind her that it's only people we know well, but she ignored us and is now dropping hints that some of her girlfriends would be great guests too. I'm sorry, whose party is this? I feel like, yes, they did give you their house and this venue, but I honestly don't really know if it's worth it if they're gonna hold it over your head like this. Just saying. Oh, they'll be great guests, but they also weren't welcome when you were supposed to be a guest. So, and if there's not that many people and you're kind of like around that energy, that like weird salty energy, I don't know if I would want that for my wedding, just saying. Ned is really happy to be doing this for us as hosting has become something of a tradition for him, but he also can't say no to Karen. So would we be a-holes if we turned down this offer and booked a different venue so we don't have to deal with his wife? Well, no, because if they're holding that over your head, they're essentially saying they can invite whoever they want to your wedding. And yes, it is their house. So like, I feel kind of like I would feel guilt tripped into like allowing that. I don't know, the solution here is clearly just to have the wedding somewhere else so that you can invite who you want. Because yeah, it is their house and they are gonna hold that over your head. And if this is the first time they're holding it over your head, I feel like there's gonna be other times too. We know it'll hurt Ned and ruffle a few family feathers, but we just don't know how to make sure we won't have a bunch of drama with Karen. Additionally, would I be the a-hole if I excluded her from the Bachelorette? I don't even want one, but it's expected. Extra info. We did not get invited to their wedding. Karen said, "Oh, we didn't think you'd be able to make it. We organized it so quickly," knowing full well Frank had been to Ned's first wedding and had flown back for other major events at short notice. Sounds like a cop-out to me. Number 2, Frank is wanting to disinvite Karen completely from the wedding or give Ned an invite stating Ned +1 to suggest he might have a new mistress to Karen. He's so petty. I love it. Ooh, this is messy. This is messy. I don't know. At this point, it's kind of like people can do nice things for you at your wedding, but like they almost always use it as a way to hold it over your head. If people are like, let's say, giving you money for the wedding, like especially like parents, they'll want to bring their friends, and you know, it's kind of like, I've literally never met these people, but I feel bad because it's your house and you're paying, and it's just like it never ends, honestly. I think that it would be worth just doing it somewhere else.
Honestly.
And if she's mad and doesn't want to come, then that's a win-win for you. Not the a-hole. Book a different venue. Karen will undoubtedly invite whoever she wants and will likely ruin your wedding. Also, issuing Ned's invitation as Ned and guest is delightfully petty. Don't invite her to the Bachelorette. Who knows who she'll decide to bring along. You're literally not obligated to invite anybody, especially if like you're the one that's throwing the wedding. It's your venue. You're paying for it. Like it's your Bachelorette. Like, it's actually shocking to me how many people expect to be able to invite people that you like don't know to your wedding. Oh, well, you know, my mom's like,
well, you know, could you invite like that aunt that you met when you were like 3.5? And I'm like,
who? Like, I'm sorry, but what? No. Good thing OP and Frank found this out early with Karen involved. There's no such thing as a free lunch or wedding venue. Literally, this is the thing. Like, you might think that, oh, like we get it for free. There's so many perks, but like ain't nothing free in this world, honey. Ain't nothing free. She's given you all the info you need to conclude that your wedding will become her house party, conveniently catered and decorated at your expense. Run for the hills. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's not worth it, honestly. Like, this is why it's good to just like do it your way and just pay for it and like do what you gotta do so that you don't like feel indebted to anyone, you know? Update. Firstly, thank you to everyone who commented. I showed my husband to be Frank the post and comments, and he told me I didn't need to tell people to tell me I'm not the a-hole. And even if it was an a-hole thing to do, he'd have done it because that's what I'm marrying him for. He also said he didn't care about not going to Ned and Karen's wedding. He'll just go to Ned's next one. Ooh, that's the tea. Now to the update. After weighing up the cost and logistics, we've decided to move the venue, and not just by a bit, but by a whole country. Ooh, love that. To make it very inconvenient for the people you don't want to come. That's a trick. You know, a lot of people are like,
man, destination weddings are so selfish.
Babes, I'm doing a destination wedding because I don't want certain people who don't think I'm worth it to come. And it's working. It's literally working. It's like, yeah, oopsie. The majority of people will be flying in anyway from different continents. Our friends and family are far and wide. So we thought it might as well be a full-blown destination wedding. Ooh, love that. I love destination weddings. They're so fun. It's like a big vacation with all of your favorite people, and everybody's so ready to party. And the vibes are just so good because everybody, like, you know that feeling when you're on a vacation and like you get there and you're just so unbelievably excited and pumped? Think about that, but like everyone is excited and pumped in addition to you getting married. Like there is like, it's the best. I love it. I'm so excited. We're also postponing, as a couple of you suggested, so that we can pay for it to be a real holiday for everyone with the best weather. Love that. Decorations and catering, no interference from anyone because, the resort does all of that, and no uninvited guests. We had a FaceTime with Ned under the guise of getting more details about using his place and dropped in that we were looking at some other options, location and dates too. He didn't mind and told us his offer for us to use their house still stands. As for Ned inviting Karen, he still gets to bring his +1. I realized some people were calling for him to be struck off, but he actively helped us out when I was caring for my mom, even though he was halfway around the world, organizing meal deliveries and even paying for a cleaner to help us lighten the load. Disinviting him would be a major a-hole move. He's a very generous person. He just comes with a very pushy other half, a Karen, if you will. And the bachelorette, I won't have a traditional one. I'll just have a spa day with my closest besties at the resort, who will invite to come a few days before the main event. This was my BFF's idea as she saw the original post, worked out it was me, and said she'll take care of it. See, that's good, because if it's someone else, then Karen can't get mad, because it's like,
Oh, sorry, someone else organized it. It's like, not me.
I'm excited again for the wedding, possibly more than I was before. There's a good lesson in here, guys, and the lesson is, ain't nothing free in this world. And, you know, people might offer to do nice things for you, but they'll also offer to hold that over your head. Is it worth it? In some cases, it might be. You know, you can invite a couple people that they want. But at the end of the day, if they start to push the boundary of like, you know, they hold it over your head over and over and over again at the expense of your own happiness and quality of wedding, I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it. You are not the a-hole, my dear. It is decided. Am I the a-hole for telling my engaged friend she only gets one day when she gave me pushback on my proposal? I, male 24, plan to propose very soon. Ooh, exciting! With a loan, I was able to order the engagement ring I designed with a jewelry company. I had many family and financial issues these past couple years that prevented me from proposing sooner. But I know now that I'm very unsure with so many things in my life. However, the one thing I am sure of is that I want my partner in my life forever. Ah! Ah! That's so cute. I love that. I love that to see it. I feel like guys go through this pressure a lot where they like, you know, you might wonder like, why hasn't he proposed? Like he's taking so long, etc. But like I know I got that question a lot, but a lot of the time the guy just really wants to be able to give you the engagement ring and the proposal that you deserve, you know? And not everybody can do that, but they want to be able to do that for you. So if you're in a relationship and you got a guy that's like, you know, kind of taking his time and you guys have talked about getting engaged and whatever, give him the benefit of the doubt for a little bit, you know, like give him the benefit of the doubt, let go a little bit, let it happen, okay? If he wanted to, he would, and he will. My friend Susie, female 22, was recently engaged back on December 17th, and her engagement really made me feel like I was messing up in life by not doing the same for my partner. So their determination for one another really pushed me. I decided to finally reach back out to the company I spoke with 3 months prior to getting the ring. I finalized the payment in hours into the new year, and being surrounded by my friends, I decided to tell them when my partner left the table. This is where Susie told me I should probably wait until 2026 because she was going to get married this year in October. Yeah, there's a common misconception around people where it's like,
It's your year. Like everything's about you for an entire year.
and it's like, it's not actually. You get one day, bestie. Uno. Uno. Being the Charlotte Dobre fan that I am, hey, I turned to her with my New Year's buzz and gently explained to her that she will have her day because she only gets one. That I'm not going to propose at her wedding or in the same month either because the year is over. That she can sit back in her high and that she's meant so much to me that I would not undermine her like that. I even explained to her that it would not be around her day. I appreciate you trying to reassure her, but like you cannot just claim an entire year because you're getting married and say that nobody else can like do any sort of proposal or wedding in the same year because you're getting married. Like that is just so silly. Everybody's on their own clock. That, for one, is already more than enough and more than what I had to do. She seemed to be content with what I told her. We both left it at that and actually enjoyed the rest of the night. Interesting that she tried to control the situation. After waking up and being sober, I wondered if I handled that correctly. I feel like I did, but I can't help to feel like my friend might be hurt. However, I still stand strong with the fact that she only has one day, and I will be damned if I hadn't told to wait longer to propose to the love of my life. EST, arrival 3 to 5 weeks, wish me luck. Okay, let me see. When did you post this? 27 days ago. Okay, we're getting into that. I really hope that it happened, and I hope it was everything you dreamed of, my dear. I think hopefully by the time you see this story on the channel, you will be engaged. Congratulations. Edit. I suck at having secrets, so this is killing me inside because I can't tell my partner anything until I do propose. They're my best friend, and it sucks to not be able to tell them that I am proposing. I know, I get it. How am I gonna live these next 5 weeks? Oh my God, my heart. Also, this Reddit attraction is so new to me, so I have that secret now too. I'm gonna turn off my notifications for a couple days to get off my phone. Thank you. Okay, you are the cutest. I do know the day that Mike proposed to me, he was so unbelievably nervous, and like thinking back to him, like he could not handle it. Like he was freaking out because he planned like all of these things and like he could not hide how scared he was. He had to hide the ring box in this weird part of his pants so that I wouldn't know he had a ring box because it protrudes, right? Nobody talks about how nervous the guy is to propose, and I'm sure that she will say yes. So, are you the a-hole for telling my engaged friend she only gets one day when she gave me pushback on my proposal? No. I think that you actually were quite considerate of her feelings. And I think that the general consensus, like a lot of people seem to think that because like, you know, they're engaged or they're getting married that year, that it's like, it's their year and they get all the attention and all these things are happening to them and like, don't steal the attention away. It's like, bestie, you get one day. You do. Just one day where the whole thing is about you, and that is more than enough. All right. I think that's a fair boundary to express. She didn't seem mad at you. I know you kind of feel bad, but like, I think she needed to hear that, to be quite frank. She's got a little bit of an unrealistic expectation of like her wedding year or wedding in general. For the record, you're getting married this year, you're getting married next year, whatever. Super excited for you. There's gonna be lots of fun events, lots of things to plan, lots of people to see, etc., etc. But like, that doesn't mean that the world stops and people have to like tiptoe around your wedding because you're getting married. Life doesn't stop for other people because you're getting married, and that's just it. In fact, like, I know that you were excited to tell her, but I almost wish that you didn't tell her. So that she couldn't try and control the situation. All right, let's see the responses. So you're expected to wait to propose until after this twat hole gets married. I'm sorry, but what? The lion, the witch, and the motherfucking audacity to say that. No, she had no shortage of the audacity when she said that. You handled this beautifully, good sir. You even said it's not like you're proposing at her wedding. Literally. No, she's being very unreasonable. Can't wait to hear about the engagement and how brilliant it went for you. Please, if you can, share pics. Even though I'm not a jewelry girly, I love looking at rings. Same here. Please update us. Please update us. I want all the updates. I use the lion, the witch, and the audacity of this. That is hilarious. Let me just log that away into my, you know, my little plethora of insults. Not the a-hole at all. As you correctly stated, the wedding day is only one. You've been more than reasonable leaving her some time around the date. This also lets your common friends gathering what they need for both weddings. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know I said maybe you shouldn't have told her, but it is a good thing to like let people know as well so that they can be prepared. You know, they're doing 2 weddings in 1 year. I had a lot of weddings last year. Like 2 of my best friends got married. So it's just like, it was a lot. Like it was definitely a lot, and lots of tickets had to be bought, lots of hotel rooms, etc., etc. But like the weddings were further enough apart that it didn't really like overlap or anything. I don't think. Don't overthink. You've been a good friend, as I'm sure you always have. Oh, and congrats to both of you for your weddings. Me hearing Charlotte, but it's my day, but it's my year. No, it's not. Sorry. You are not the a-hole, my dear. And congratulations. Please update us and show us pictures, please. Please. All right, we got one more for you guys. Am I the a-hole for not inviting my brother and sister-in-law to my wedding? My fiance, 29 male, and I, 23 female, started planning our wedding. We sent out all the save the date cards. We made the decision to not invite my brother and sister-in-law because we weren't invited to their wedding. Long story, maybe I'll do that one in a while. My sister-in-law heard everyone got a save the date card except for them. I think it should be expected that if you don't invite certain people to your wedding, you should not expect an invite to theirs. Like, you know, I think that kind of goes without saying. She asked if it was still in the mail, and I explained that they won't be receiving any invitation of any kind. Ooh, messy. She got mad and called my mom. My mom called me and she understands, but asked me if I could invite them just so there's no drama. Well, what about when you were supposed to get invited to a wedding and you weren't? Do we not care about that? My fiance and I said we stand by our decision for not inviting them. Now, my parents aren't sure they will come because I can be a little more understanding and just invite them. And I shouldn't be such a bridezilla. So why didn't you get an invite to their wedding? I'm just confused. Am I the a-hole for not inviting them even when they didn't invite me to their wedding? You're a little petty. Like, I'm not gonna lie, you are a little petty. But I'm really curious as to why you weren't invited and why everybody really wants you to invite the people that didn't invite you and why they couldn't have felt that way when you didn't get invited. I'm confused why it's only one-sided. Edit. So we have some backstory. I come from a big family. My parents have 7 children. When we were little, some stuff happened. My brother did things, and I don't feel very comfortable to elaborate. Okay, bestie. But some things were bad, to say the least. When I finally came forward with everything that happened, no one believed me because I had no physical proof. I went through years of therapy to process all that happened and the disbelief I got from my parents. My brother married his wife this summer, June 2023. First, I didn't get an invite at all, but I didn't think much of it. I kindly asked why I was the only one who wasn't invited out of my whole family. I got a blunt answer.
We thought you wouldn't want to come because people would talk.
Okay, people would talk. Seems like a weird excuse. Talk about what? Talk about you? I was fine with not being invited though. I said, well, that's fine. A few weeks later, I got a message from my sister-in-law saying I could come to the ceremony, but not the reception. I went to neither of those. Oh, so you did kind of get an invite, like a last-minute invite when maybe someone couldn't come? You were on the B list? I see how it is. Or maybe she genuinely felt bad about not inviting you and had a change of heart. But at the same time, I would feel some type of way about going to someone's wedding if I wasn't initially on their list of people. I ain't going to nobody's wedding that doesn't want me there. Ain't no way I'm paying for a bunch of shit, hotels, flights, wedding gifts, dress. Absolutely not. No way. I am only spending money on people that I like. About a month after their wedding, I got an invitation to attend a birthday party from one of their kids. Maybe I was petty for not coming, but in my mind, it was like, I'm always pretty generous about gifts, especially for kids. I have 3 of my own, but spoil all kids in the family. So they just want me there for the gifts, you know? Maybe they wanted to smooth things over. I don't know. You know them better than I do, realistically. I also had something like, I'm not something you can make a part of your life when you want to and throw me out when you feel like it. That is absolutely fair. That is absolutely fair. I wouldn't want to go where I'm not wanted either. This is the thing, right? When you have a wedding and you're choosing the guest list, you have to honestly assess the situation, because when you don't invite someone, you're essentially saying that you don't want this person to be a part of your future. That's what you're saying. You don't want this person to be a part of your new life going forward. You don't think they're important enough, or maybe they did something to you, or you don't think it's appropriate or whatever. By not inviting them, you're essentially saying that you don't want them there. They can agree with you or they cannot, but you have to be okay with letting someone down like that and suffering the consequences, which is in this case not getting an invite to their wedding. So that's the backstory. Another edit, people asked why my parents didn't advocate for me more when they didn't invite me. Long story short, the fact they don't believe what happened with my brother is a big part of why they didn't advocate for me. He said they didn't want me to cause a scene and they didn't want me drunk and telling lies to all their family and friends. I don't even drink alcohol. My parents weren't the sweetest, kindest persons to me, never were. They made fun of me almost my entire life, shamed me, blamed me for a lot of things, and told me multiple times I was crazy for thinking they would ever believe my brother could do such things. I feel like I know what you're talking about, which is, I'm not gonna say it out loud, but I think all of us can kind of guess what's happening. And I think, f them. Them all. Tell them to suck an egg. Okay, people kind of had the same read on the situation. If you want to go into the actual Reddit thread and find out what's happening or people's guesses, you can. Let's not guess because we don't know, and OP is not comfortable sharing, so we have to respect that. But if it's what I think is happening, I think it's a no from me, dog. It was an F no from me, dog, before I knew about the backstory. Because at the end of the day, if you don't invite someone to your wedding, you can't honestly expect an invite to theirs. You just can't. It's the way of the world, honey, regardless of the reason. So are you the a-hole for not inviting my brother and sister-in-law to your wedding? Absolutely not. Subscribe.